Shri Pushtimarg, Laksanani, continuing with verse 19. Samasta vishaya tyagah sarvabhavena yatreva samarpanam shadehardaihi pushtimargah sakatyate. Samasta vishaya tyagah sarvabhavena yatreva samarpanam shadehardaihi pushtimargah sakatyate. Where there is total renunciation of sense-gratifying objects and activities with every type of sentiment, and the dedicated surrender of the body, etc., know this to be the blessed path. Where there is total renunciation of sense-gratifying objects and activities with every type of sentiment, and the dedicated surrender of the body, know this to be the blessed path. Here the word sarvabhavena is very significant. It indicates that all our thought processes and all the motivational forces of our innermost being must stop relating to the external pleasures of the senses and connect in every way at all time, with every sinew, with every last cell of one's being, with every breath one takes, to the beloveds. This verse clarifies the nature of the appropriate surrender of the embodied soul to the beloved, especially as in the 84-syllable prayer of dedication, or the Brahmasambandh mantra, which is the most significant feature of the path of grace. This mantra is the supplication of the embodied soul to the Lord on the realization of the essential relationship between them, where the embodied soul offers up their body, sense, life, breath, all internal functions, spouse, home, children and wealth, etc., knowing them all to be theirs through their Lord's grace alone. That's Tika 19 concluded, verse 20. Vishayatvena tatyagaha swasmin vishayata smritaihi yatra ve sarvabhavena pushtimargah sakatyate. Vishayatvena tatyagaha swasmin vishayata smritaihi yatra ve sarvabhavena pushtimargah sakatyate. Where that renunciation of sense-gratifying activity, even of one's habitual attachment to it, and furthermore, even of one's memorized impressions of such, is total, complete, and with consideration of every aspect of one's heart and mind's processes, know that to be the blessed path of grace. Where that renunciation of sense-gratifying activity, even of one's habitual attachment to it, and furthermore, even of one's memorized impressions of such, is total, complete, and with consideration of every aspect of one's heart and mind's processes, know that to be the blessed path of grace. Tika. This verse describes in perfect detail the perfection of devotion when Brahmasambandha is realized in every aspect, as per the root principles as taught by Sri Acharyaji, to all divinely oriented souls, that is, Devi Jeev, after Sri Thakurji himself instructed him in Sri Gokul Dham on the 11th day of the bright half of the month of Shravan. Sri Acharyaji has written of this experience in his Siddhanta Rahasya treatise, which can be considered to be the key to and the core of this path of grace. Total elimination of all addiction to the habits of sense-dominated lifestyle is very difficult. But when the Lord sees the sincere and humble devotee surrendered to his feet, then he can enter that devotee's heart, which then becomes replete with love for the beloveds with no distraction. Then one attains to Sarvatma Bhav, seeing only the divine in everything and everyone, a state of pure bliss. The taste for worldly enjoyment, fame, fortune, and ego-centered pleasure is so hard to totally eradicate, But when the Lord enters the heart and the devotee tastes instead his nectarian essence, then everything else pales in insignificance. See Shiksha Patra letter 32 for the description of a true devotee's heart. As the poet Narayan Das sings, Narayana Tinako Sabafiko, Jinachaki Yeherupa Mitai. For the one who has tasted the sweetness of the Lord's beauty, the whole world seems totally bland. The final verse of Pushtimarg Laksanani, verse 21. Evam vidaihi visheshena prakarestu sadashritaihi Hrudi kritva nijacharyan pushtimarge hi buddhyatam. Evam vide visheshena prakarestu sadashritaihi Hrudi kritva nijacharyan pushtimarge hi buddhyatam. In this very way, and with special attention to these guidelines, dedicated souls should know this path of grace and establish Sri Acharyaji in their hearts. In this very way, and with special attention to these guidelines, dedicated souls should know this path of grace and establish Sri Acharyaji in their hearts. The verses of this text have clarified the character of this path of grace. Cementing one's self-dedication and surrendering by establishing Sri Acharyaji and his teachings as revealed above in one's heart of hearts, one should maintain a constant awareness of these principles and mould them into one's divine service and the mode and mood of its performance. The devotee then progresses without inhibition on the path as their relationship to the Beloved becomes deeper, while Sri Acharyaji and his principles never leave one's heart, and all actions of such a devotee are naturally replete with all the devotional attitude and flavour as described throughout the verses. This is the blissful, blessed path of grace. Thus concludes Sri Hari Raji's description of the characteristics of the path of grace. Shri Vallabhacharya Ji ki jai ho. Jai Jai Shri Radha Pranan So Pyari Ji.